You're tuned in to Pyrocryptic X News, daily crypto coverage on the networks that matter. XRP, XLM, XDC, and many others. Let's get into it.
Pyrocryptic X News here, bringing you the essential crypto insights for May 5th, 2025.
That's right.
Today, we're zeroing in on some key movements. XRP holding steady while stablecoin rules get shaky, Worldcoin expanding in the US and linking up with Visa, plus a big jump in stellar XLM activity.
Yeah, quite a bit happening. Let's start with those stablecoins. The regulatory picture in the US just got, well, a lot murkier.
Murkier how? I thought they were moving forward with that Genius Act.
They were trying to. But now, a revised version is facing some serious pushback. We've got 10 senators, and importantly, this includes 4 Democrats who actually backed it back in March.
Oh, wow. So bipartisan opposition now. What are their main issues?
It boils down to concerns about anti-money laundering protections, AML feeling they're not strong enough, and potential risks, to financial stability, even national security.
Because the rules are too loose.
Essentially, yes. They feel crucial safeguards were left out, and some of the regulations are just too ambiguous. They're worried it creates loopholes.
Okay, so what specific changes are they asking for?
They want clearer rules on stopping illicit money flows, stricter oversight for stablecoin providers based overseas, better national security checks, making sure the existing financial system isn't put at risk, and importantly, real penalties for companies that don't comply.
And the timing on this is pretty significant, isn't it? Weren't they trying to fast-track this bill?
Exactly. The Senate leadership was looking to move quickly, so this opposition popping up right before a procedural vote really throws a wrench in the works.
So more waiting and uncertainty for crypto folks.
That's the result, yeah. Investors, developers, everyone's kind of left hanging, waiting to see how this plays out.
And isn't there some political stuff bubbling in the background too? Something about Trump's crypto ventures?
Yes, there are news outlets digging into that, which definitely adds a layer of political sensitivity to the whole debate. Senator Haggerty, the Republican lead on the bill, even mentioned he's worried this could turn crypto regulation into purely a GOP issue.
Which would make it harder to pass anything, presumably.
Much harder. And interestingly, key Democratic co-sponsors like Gillibrand and also Brooks weren't part of this opposition statement.
So maybe the earlier bipartisan support is fracturing a bit.
It certainly looks that way. The big procedural vote is coming up soon, so we'll see. It's much less of a sure thing now.
Okay, let's shift over to Worldcoin, or just World as they're called now. Big news on the U.S. front.
Yeah, pretty big. They've officially launched in 6 major U.S. cities. We're talking Atlanta, Austin, Los Angeles, Miami, Nashville, and San Francisco.
And this is centered around their orb device, right? The eye scanning thing.
That's the one. They're bringing the orb verification stateside to verify unique human identities. Scan your face and eyes, prove you're human.
What's the end goal there, beyond just proving you're not a bot?
Well, the idea is to build this global, privacy-focused identity system. Once you're verified, you get some WLD tokens, and your verified but anonymized World ID gets stored.
Which you can then use elsewhere.
Potentially, yes. For verifying yourself on other platforms, fighting fraud, bots, that kind of thing. It's worth noting, despite some regulatory headwinds and even shutdowns overseas previously, they seem to have met the U.S. requirements for this launch.
And they've also partnered with Visa. That sounds significant.
It really is. They're launching a World Visa card. This means people could potentially pay using their WLD tokens, or maybe other cryptos too.
Making crypto more usable for everyday stuff.
Exactly. It bridges the gap between crypto holdings and real-world spending, a step towards mainstream integration.
Are we seeing other applications for this World ID tech?
Definitely. Match group think Tinder, Hinge. They're running a pilot using World ID verification on their dating apps.
Tackling the fake profile problem.
Precisely. That's a huge issue online.
Sure.
And World's verified, 12 million people globally with the orb scans already, so the scale is there.
Interesting. Though the WLD token price hasn't exactly mirrored that user growth, has it?
No, it's been volatile. It peaked way up near $12 back in March 24, but now it's hovering around like $1. So that disconnect between user numbers and token price is definitely something investors are watching.
Are there other partnerships expanding its use?
Yeah, they've also teamed up with Kulshi and Morpho. The goal seems to be applying their identity verification to fight bots and fraud in even more places. So even if the token price is bumpy, they're pushing hard on the utility front.
Okay, let's move on to Stellar XLM. Seeing some action there.
We are, yeah. Noticeable uptick in network activity, and the price seems to be strengthening Looks like interest is picking up from both institutions and regular retail investors.
How much has activity increased?
Daily operations on the network are up about 35%, hitting over 20 million. That's the highest we've seen since late 2024. Lots of token transfers, DX activity. The network's busy.
And what's driving this renewed interest? Is there a specific catalyst?
A major one. Franklin Templeton, the huge asset manager, announced plans to use the Stellar blockchain.
Whoa, okay. For what exactly?
For transferring assets. We're talking potentially $1.7 trillion worth.
$1.7 trillion on Stellar. Why them?
Cost and efficiency, basically. Stellar transaction costs are incredibly low. Think about processing 50,000 transactions on Stellar. It might cost around $120.
Okay.
Compare that to maybe $50,000 using traditional systems.
That difference is staggering.
It really is. Franklin Templeton estimates they can save over $200 million annually just by using Stellar for these transfers. It's a massive validation of the tech.
No kidding. So how's XLM's price reacting to all this?
Positively, as you expect. It's pushed above its 200-day moving average, trading around 27 cents right now.
Any predictions on where it might go?
Well, some analysts are looking at a potential move towards 34 cents, but it really needs to hold above that $1.29 level first. There seems to be some resistance building around $0.295 and $0.300.
And what about support if it dips?
Support looks to be forming between 0.266 cents and 0.265 cents.
Are the technicals looking supportive of a continued rise?
Generally, yes. The RSI, the Relative Strength Index, is near 58, which is leaning bullish. The Money Flow Index, MFI, is up around 70, suggests strong money coming in.
Okay.
Price is also in the upper part of its Bollinger Bands, often a sign of strength. And funding rates in the futures market recently turned positive. That suggests traders are getting more confident about price increases.
So lots of positive signs, even if the price hasn't reclaimed its old peaks yet.
Right. Despite, more money supply globally, XLM hasn't fully broken out yet. But given the Franklin Templeton news and these indicators, analysts think a breakout could happen as those historical patterns maybe kick back in.
All right, a lot to track there. That wraps up our briefing from Pyrocryptic X News for May 5th, 2025. We've hit the uncertainty in stablecoin rules, Worldcoin's US push and Visa link, and that big surge on Stellar thanks to Franklin Templeton.
Key developments shaping things right now for crypto investors.
Absolutely. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll catch you on the next update.
That's it for today on Pyrocryptic X News. Stay sharp, stay informed, and catch the next drop right here.